What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Gabber. Indeed, we're back with more from Gabberhead, and we're back with more from Gabberhead Vinyl number 2, and we're going to listen to a track called Bass Place by the Bloody Deamon and DJ Ad, or AD perhaps. Either way, I'm not familiar with either of these artists, but this track, as a debut track for me, makes me very interested in terms of what else they might have done, or what they might be, or where they might show up in the future. So yeah, bottom line, I really do enjoy this track. It's in the early hardcore style. It's got that classic, Gabber kick drum bass line scheme. But it's funny, it reminds me in a way of a tune on the third Gabberhead record, which is to say the remix of Walking in the Air, which it's the Gabberhead remix, so shout out to them. But ultimately, yeah, it has this atmosphere that's very wistful, a bit melancholic. Again, I actually hadn't seen the film, what is it, The Snowman? Ultimately, I understand it's a beloved, Christmas classic, and I was, old enough that I could have seen it when it was out, but, I don't remember it getting a lot of airtime here in the US. It's not something that I remember seeing, but like I said, once I heard the track, I was intrigued, so I looked this up, and I, found out about the film, and apparently that sequence in particular is like a really nostalgically held part for a lot of people. So number one, I think it fits fantastically in a hardcore tune, and number two, it creates this sort of, not contradiction, but juxtaposition where, it's a rocking, fast, early hardcore track, so it's got power, it's got energy, it's rocking, it's hardcore, and yet it has this grace, it has this melody, it has this smoothness to it. And this track, although the atmosphere of the melody is different, it has a similar thing. It uses, I don't know, it sounds almost like an operatic vocal. I don't know where the sample comes from, but ultimately it really gives the track this austere elegance, a bit mysterious, but of course it also has rocking percussion scheme in the early hardcore style, as well as a really fast, classic Gabber synth melody. So yeah, it's another tune that, like a track on the third Gabberhead, really excellently mixes elegance and melodic grace with rocking early hardcore percussion. So I'll stop talking, we'll listen to it. This is Bass Place by the Bloody Deamon and DJ Ad, or maybe AD, and it's from the second Gabberhead vinyl release, 2022. Make sure I have it on the right side here. I believe I do. So again, this is Bass Place. I don't know, operatic, maybe more like folk singing, maybe? Drum and bass rhythms. Very atmospheric. There's an implied scene, which I don't know if some of those sonics are from where that vocal comes from, or just added, the rain and that cannon sounds or whatever that was. synth melody. I wasn't thinking of this, but obviously this is building off the atmosphere of the vocal. But this is what I was thinking of when I said synth melody. Absolute feedback. Rapid fire essentially is just right and very vintage. Those synths, that like vocal synth line is very like 90s hard trance almost. Like you can hear that in a Nostrum too. Couple bass rhythms coming back. Flawless. It does point out though that like, you know, mixing out of a track like that, it's complicated, right? Because you want that last ride out, but it ends so abruptly that you better have something, you know, really ready to go, like into the main, you know, part or at least the main intro of whatever you're going into. So again, like when I listen to these tracks in this context, I keep thinking, you know, as I listen to hardcore tunes, it's, again, when you mix hardcore, you just really, there's never a moment where you don't need to be doing something, where, again, you mix Goa trance, you mix melodic trance, you got 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, you got time, you know, you can enjoy parts and you can sort of, you know, it's matched, it's ready to go, I've got it, like, sitting at the place where I want to start it, but I got 2 minutes till I get to the point where I want to mix out, so you can, you know, either just enjoy the tune, vibe with, you know, whoever's listening, you can, you know, do little DJ tricks and so on. But hardcore, it's like, you just gotta go, go, go. So again, like that last outro, ride out, is like what, like a 64? I think more than that, maybe it's a 128, but either way, it's so quick that, like, again, you better know what you're doing by the time you even get to the beginning of that last part. So another top tune from Gabberhead. Love that they've been releasing vinyl the last 3 years. Yeah, I guess like last 2 years, right? Because I think the first one was 2021. And again, I think they had a vinyl release going way back to the 90s, and then had put out a lot of digital releases over the last like decade before the first of these vinyl releases. But long may it continue. Once again, big shout out to the Bloody Deamon. It's like Demon, but it's like Deamon, and DJ Ad or AD. I'm gonna say Ad just because it's not like, if there were periods after the letters, it would be more likely AD, but either way, again, I don't know these guys' work, but a fantastic track. Makes me curious to hear more. Once again, shout out to Gabberhead. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.